Yep, here we go. I'm in game. Let's go ahead and check this out. This is the deciding match of Sunday Community Skirmish number 32. Rydrs and Clamour both have one game. It all comes down to this. Rydrs bring in the fancy, a Mobula being piloted by Dementio. Mercury up top with Artemis Flamethrower on the upper deck and Artemis Carronade on the lower deck. They also have the LibGDL, a Goldfish being piloted by Luyosi. Hwacha on the front with Carronade on the port side, Gatling on the starboard.
And then for the ducks, there's the pintail, which is a lumberfish.
My favorite. It's my favorite ship.
It's your favorite fish?
Yeah, it is my favorite ship
The snack
to pilot
smiles
when
back.
I pilot.
And they have got a flare gun and carronade for support. And to wrap things up for today, the Entramboot, which is a Merc Art Piri with two flare guns on the side. And we already have spots on Lumberjacks going a little wide.
Mercury too. That momentum of the ship carrying over a little bit too hard. LibGDL rushing around the side.
And it does manage to scoot away with no permanent damage whatsoever.
Nope. This is not the initial engagement that the Clamour want at all.
No, they wanted to catch that goldfish off guard, and they were not quite able to do that. And now the pintail is taking Merc fire pretty badly. They got about one more Merc in them before they lose their... However, the Lumberjacks are sinking against the Fancy. They did just get their main gun disabled, and they are going up to take advantage of the much better lower arc that their Lumberjack has, while the LibGDL and the Entramboot do a little bit of brawling.
Yeah, just a little bit. Fancy rising up, still not a part of this engagement. This Lumberfish is backing up. They want to make sure that they have arming time on the LibGDL. They are going for that balloon hard. There goes the balloon. Really nice target acquisition.
Entramboot is too close for me for these guns he has. Neither of them have arming time, which is important, but also neither...
nuzzled.
Wow. Fancy ram, wow. Neither of them have arming time, but neither of them have any sort of good arcs, particularly either.
Ooh, flare going into the Fancy. Did it do anything? No.
I think it hit the cloud, yeah. I don't know why the pintail is so close. He rammed the Entramboot off, or he rammed the Fancy off of the Entramboot. Good for you. But now you are within arming distance of your your Lumberjack, and I mean you can back up faster than the Fancy can advance, but then you just put yourself into Artemis range.
Ooh, watch it going out in the Entramboot. They want to make sure that Pyrrha doesn't have the chance to come back into this fight. The pintail is nice and pinned. Nothing it can do, really, with that Lumberjack.
Their balloon is out, and they're backing up, but they were not backing up fast enough, and they just bottomed out. Fancy, Goomba stomping. Finish that off, and now has just the ability to turn on the Entramboot, who I don't think has the damage per second needed to finish off the Fancy here.
No, not at all. I think that this is going to be
the pin. He's going for the pin. Fancy knows he's going for the pin. Goes over the pin. Hwacha in the engines. Entramboot is out of components. No return fire possible.
Ooh, lost the armor.
Nothing he could do to stop from slamming into that mountain.
Now the armor went down right before they hit the mountain, and that did a ton of permahull damage. All but one gun is down. Engines are down. They're just now getting around to repairing the engines, but they have to jump off of them to get on the armor. Engine Ramboot gonna buy just a little bit more time for itself, but here comes the Hwacha. Hwacha? Maybe not.
Hwacha. Yeah, I mean, Entramboot is doing a good job of surviving, but that's about all he's doing at this point.
Oh, there go the engines again.
As the pintail is just too far away to help, and the Fancy is just waiting for him. Fancy is not even providing any help in this engagement, as there's little Entramboot can do, I mean, other than tank.
Yeah, not much. Here comes the Hwacha.
Against a fully armored Piri, almost. Not going to be able to take him out.
Yeah, the Fancy just is not part of this kill. They're looking for the pintail. I guess they're just like, hey, Hwacha fish, deal with this Pyrrha. No, you can.
There you go.
There we go.
Full drops.
Nudge,
one more,
nudge, nudge,
nudge.
There we go.
There it goes. Finally, Entramboot does go down. A little bit of attrition. Pintail, way out. Oh, has the Fancy spotted the pintail? He's going in right on him.
Probably.
Probably? You think so, maybe?
Nah. Maybe not.
They were trying to bait him apparently, but the pintail was a little caught
Oh.
onto the plant. Uh-oh, and Tramboot spawned right next to the Fancy. That is not where they wanted to be. I don't think. Oh, they have no idea that there's a cloud right there, and Tramboot has just exposed their engine column to the Fancy. Oh no. This is bad news for Intramboot. Intramboot has not been able to make his Mercury on Artemis effective as both of these ships are just closing in too quickly. Oh, an excellent Mercury disable on the libGDL. They just lost their... And
Very
again,
nice job of the Fancy. Oh, and the Pintail getting too close.
Pintail, stop. Go away. Get out of here.
This is not the effective range of your main weapon. If you're not going to use your main weapon, pick a different main weapon.
Or not be a goldfish.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my goodness, Pintail,
Goldfish
why?
live and die by their main weapon. I don't know why he did that. He could have perfectly provided lumberjack support against both of these ships from afar. And now Intramboot loses their hull right as that Hawasha begins to sink in, and they are out. And now the Fancy is closing in on the Pintail. I don't know why the Pintail just closed in like that. If they had backed up even, they could have easily popped the balloons on both of these ships, giving the Intramboot the height advantage and out of arcs against most of these weapons, especially the Artemis is on the Fancy.
I
I
know it sounds like I'm bashing the ducks here, but I do it out of love because I love the lumberfish. I think it's wonderful, and I hate to see it. I see it misused like this.
Yeah, I usually you can think, okay, they were trying to do this, or okay, that was their idea. I have no idea. I mean, the Pintail, it went in and it rammed the Fancy when, I mean, they could have just as easily gotten them off target by popping their balloon, as Mobulas have great vertical acceleration, which plays to their downfall when their balloon is gone. They just drop like a rock.
Now, Levi in chat is saying that maybe they're going for some sort of Lochnagar shots, but whatever they're doing, it's not working. And I strongly believe that... Ooh, those are nice little bird animations. I really do believe that Lochnagar is not something you use as a main source of damage output. It's an opportunistic source of damage output. It's like,
Yeah,
we're too close. They're within arming time. Here, but we still have Lochnagar. We still have something.
Yeah, they do indeed have Lochnagar. Loading, who is their gunner,
yes,
does have Lesmach heatsink Lochnagar.
Yeah, I went and checked that. Like, they do have it, but again, if you have the if you have the option of not using Lochnagar, I generally, especially in Lumberjack, you generally say don't use it.
Yeah, like Flak has its opportunity because you've got that tiny window of to use the heavy Flak. So Lochnagar makes sense because you need splash damage.
But with the Lumberjack, you got 6 shots. I mean, 4 if you have the Lesmach.
Yeah, heatsink gives you like 8, I think. Oh, how much does heatsink boost your mag by? 40%? Regardless, you have more shots.
Yeah.
Significantly more ammos. And, I mean, it's got better drop on it for that medium range. And they just weren't using it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. As the libGDL closes in on the Intramboot Fancy, providing Mercury fire from afar. Pintail. Those Lumberjacks now turning on to the libGDL, and I just don't think the Intramboot is going to make it out of this.
No, I don't think so either. I think this may be it for the Sunday Community Skirmish 32. Intramboot in a lot of trouble. Pintail, again, closing distance really hard, but they are still in arming time range, so they're fine. Now they're aiming for the Fancy now. They've dropped the libGDL. This is what the Lumberfish can do. This is the advantage of it.
Now continue backing up out of that flamethrower range. They are kerosining. Or they are moonshining even.
Look at that. Fancy's balloon down again.
And
Intramboot now has easy shots. libGDL.
Oh, hey,
throwing out Watcha, but it's just into the engine column. The Intramboot doesn't care. It's already got gun arcs.
Fancy losing things very quickly, actually. Took a lot of damage there. And Intramboot loses hull. Is that Watcher ready to go? Oh, I don't think they have enough time to finish him off at this point before the hull armor comes back up. Oh, I'm about to see if I was right. I was indeed. And the armor comes up to catch the last of that, and the Fancy goes down.
Yep, still, Intramboot took a lot of damage in that go. Mini Carronade, taking out the balloon of the Intramboot, I believe. Watch it goes out.
Finishes him off.
There it is.
There it is. I mean, that the lumberfish, when they used it at the end, it worked when they used it properly. But they went in the first time. Okay, they had to they figured they had to ram the mobula off of their permitting, but they could have been
Yeah.
the same thing, just lumberjacking out the balloon. I I don't know what happened there. I really don't know what happened.
Sammy BT, Seal King, and Gorath are doing an amazing job keeping that Pyrrha up.
Mhm.
And they bought a ton of time,
Mhm.
relatively. I think that the pintail definitely could have saved them. But I
Yeah.
mean, then again, we never see lumberfish. We
Mhm.
never see lumberfish. It makes sense that the team would not be used to bringing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So-
Well, that's going to be it for Sunday Community Skirmish number 32. Rydr picking it up 2-1. Clamour definitely giving them a run for their money, but the Rydr is just a little bit too solid in their setup.